Want to turn your favorite photo into a bold stencil portrait? Today, I'll show you exactly how we create a layered stencil artwork, from photo editing to the final painted canvas. First, choose a portrait photo you'd like to transform. For this DIY, we're using a photo of BTS as our reference. Open any editing app and apply a threshold overlay. Adjust the levels to separate the midtones, shadows, and highlights. Once you're happy with the separation, save each shade as a separate file and print each layer on its own sheet. Now let's prepare the materials for our stencil art. I'm also adding a text design to the piece. On your printed text, mark small bridge areas. These are the parts you'll leave uncut to keep the intersections connected and secure. Grab your Excel Blades K18 Fit Grip Knife and a cutting mat. Carefully cut out the black areas, avoiding the bridge marks you made. Take your time and cut everything cleanly. Move on to the next layer and repeat the cutting process. Now it's time to work on the portrait layers. Start with the highlights layer. Carefully cut along the outlines using your knife and cutting mat. For straight edges, use an Excel Blades metal ruler to keep your lines crisp and clean. Next, move to the shadows layer. Again, mark small connection points to prevent floating pieces from falling out. Then slowly and carefully cut each section. Repeat the same technique for the final layer. Mark, connect, and cut with precision. Now grab your canvas. We'll paint the text first. Tape down your first stencil layer or use weighted objects to keep it secure. Start painting using spray paint or acrylic paint with a brush. Once painted, gently remove the stencil and let it dry completely. Place the second layer and repeat the process. If small pieces are stuck, use a weeding hook to lift them out. Now it's time for the portrait. Since we blocked out the highlights earlier, start with the midtones layer. Use a midtone color like gray or light brown and carefully paint over the stencil. Remove the stencil slowly. Let it dry. Finally, place the last layer and apply your darkest color. For this project, I'm using brown. Carefully remove the stencil one last time and allow everything to dry fully. And that's it, your very own stencil portrait artwork. You can use this technique on any photo you love and experiment with different colors and styles. Save this tutorial for later and try it out on your next art project.